Right.
All right, everybody. Season
All right.
2, episode 4. The fours,
Right.
Nikki. All fours,
That's
baby.
right. All fours.
Another excellent week of football, right?
That's right. Absolutely. Some great games last weekend. I watched a lot of them. I didn't watch Georgia, Kentucky, but I watched a good amount. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, I watched a bunch of games too. I think this week's going to be called the cream rises to the top
Right.
because it looks like all the teams that should have won last week. Um, so let's get into it, man. We'll have to start with the Heisman update. Cam Ward from
Okay.
Miami, another huge week. Um, You know, they're going to be in the playoffs. I think they're going to win the ACC. What do you think?
Miami?
Yeah.
I do. I bought a ticket on Clemson to win the ACC, but I think Miami would beat Clemson straight up.
What was the odds on that ticket? Plus what?
Plus 300,
Oh, Jesus, that's what's
3
the
to
point?
1. Yeah.
Not even worth even betting on. Um,
Yeah.
then Quinn Ewers from Texas, he looks to be the real deal. He got hurt
Right.
though, 185 yards, two
Right.
touchdowns, but they didn't miss a beat with Arch Manning. But I don't know. I mean, Quinn is established, took him to the playoffs last year. I think Arch. I don't know if he's there yet, but he's pretty good
Yeah,
too,
if
right?
Quinn's healthy, he's going to play in the tough SEC games.
Yeah, yeah. I think they're going to sit him out for a couple weeks, get him healthy. Um,
Right.
but
I agree.
Texas looks pretty formidable, right?
Right. Absolutely.
Um, and then
I'm
Jalen.
dying to see your opinions on some of these games this week.
Oh yeah, I'm fired up about this one. Jalen Milrow from Bama, Roll Tide. They are They're really good, Nick. He's really
Right.
good too. 5 touchdowns, couple with his feet. He reminds me a little bit of Lamar, runs around pretty fast,
Right.
can still sling it. I think they're pretty good. I'm
Yeah.
a
Yeah.
closet
I
fan.
mean,
I'm a fan of Bama. I'm not going to
it's
lie. I'm a
it's
closet fan.
both them and Georgia are off this week, and before next week they clash.
The big
I think
tilt.
it's in. Yeah.
So I get this, man. I got this deal in Alabama that I'm trying to get signed up. And if I get it signed up, I'm going at the end of next week to Roll Tide. Look at the property on Friday, and I'm going to go to that game on Saturday.
Do you think you can get a ticket? That might
Nikki,
be.
Nikki, I
Yeah.
got people
All
that
right.
I've sold
All right.
real estate there. I already got calls into people, and they already got a tailgate lined up for me and a ticket. I just got
All
to
right.
show up. These are
All
guys that I
right.
sold real estate really cheap to, so
All
they
right.
like me. And
All
these are
right.
good old boys too, from deep in Alabama. But I
Right.
gave them deals on real estate, and they want to make it up to me. So
All
nothing wrong
right.
with that. All right,
Nothing wrong
Nikki,
with that.
go over the playoffs after week 3. Talk to me. Who's playing
All
who,
right. So
and what
I
does it
guess
look
the
like?
four we have getting the first round bye is number one, Texas. Number
Yep.
two, the Ohio State Buckeyes. Number three, Miami. And number four, the Utah Utes.
Yep. Oops.
And then the playoffs would be 9 against 8, Missouri and Tennessee. Um, 12 and 5 would be Northern Illinois against Georgia.
As the 12th seed, Northern Illinois.
Yeah. Um, 7 and 10 is Oregon and Mississippi. And 11 and 6 is Penn State and Alabama in a rematch of the old Sugar Bowl in 1979, long time ago.
And the 82 Sugar Bowl with
Yeah.
top black
Yeah.
legend, your
Right.
boy Kurt Warner. I know you love
Right.
Kurt.
Yeah.
So that's this week's. It's been very flux, right? I mean,
Right.
Georgia went from being the 1 seed, now they're the 5 seed after a horrible showing. So that's what happens, man. This is going to be a flux situation. Every
Right.
week's going to be a little different. It's fine. All right, let's wrap up week 3, man.
All
FSU
right.
goes from
So I
12 and
guess,
0 to 0 and 3.
right. So Florida State
Florida State. I'm sorry, FSU. Yeah, Florida State. Free shoes.
Nor, it looks to me like Norvell made a mistake. I mean, they went and got some guys out of the transfer portal in
Right.
2023. Brendan Fisk, Coleman, the wide receiver from Michigan State, Fisk, the defensive tackle from Western Michigan, and every guy worked out, and they were all good.
Because they
And
fitted pieces, Nick. They didn't get a bunch
right,
of guys. They got guys where they needed some help.
right,
Not let's get 30 guys. Let's get 10 guys where we need help. That's
right,
the way to do the portal, by the way.
right. And I guess this year it hasn't worked out at all. It's just been a disaster.
Well,
I
he brought
mean,
in like 25 guys this year, though, in the portal. He brought
yeah,
in a ton of dudes.
right. And it's they played. I watched the whole game against Memphis last week. They played horribly.
They're terrible,
You know,
terribly
I
coached.
mean,
And I am putting him on the hot seat as of right now. I think he's out at the end of the year. I think they throw up a
maybe,
really ugly, like 4-8 number, and I think he's out at the end of the year. They don't put up with that shit there. I mean, they got money, they
right,
don't care. He's out. But
right.
the 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 positions from going from 12-0 to 0-3 with fans wearing bags over their heads, that is unbelievable to me. Unbelievable. All right. Um,
Well, like
next
you said,
item.
there's no culture. There's nobody who says, "Hey, this is the way we do things at Florida State."
Yeah,
You know,
because all they do is complain and bitch about the committee not getting it right. They're done,
right,
man. I'm done with Florida State. They're a
right,
joke. All
yeah,
right, Pitt in the backyard brawl. Nikki, talk to me.
yeah. So,
And by the way, in honor of the brawl, Nick,
Dorset, 30, yeah.
we're in Tony
The,
tonight
the
for
man
the
from
big win.
Alquippa. All right. And then, okay, so the backyard brawl was a little different this year than in past years. I guess after last year, Pat Narduzzi realized he needed some help. So he went and got Kerwin Bell, the old Florida quarterback. He got his son to run the offense, and he got the quarterback from Alabama, or he's from Louisiana. Played last year at Alabama, Eli Hotstein, and
He's really good too, and
Holstein.
he
I'm
can
sorry,
sling it. He can
he could
really
sling it.
sling it. I watched all of
Right,
that game. He can sling it. He's
right.
legit.
And they got a running back, I guess, that came with Bell from Western Carolina, and they're tough. I mean, they have two back to back comeback wins. First one against Cincinnati last week. Second
Yeah.
one against West Virginia. I'm
West
sorry.
Virginia played good. You know that
Right,
they were in the game, but it was a comeback win. But the game was like West Virginia led, Pitt led, West Virginia. I mean, it was back and forth leads.
right, right. I was going to ask you what I mean. If you were Neil Brown at West Virginia, are you in a tough spot long term?
I don't
I
think so,
mean,
man. I don't.
yeah,
I don't because I think it's a tough place to win. I told you they have money, they have nil money. It's hard to get kids to come to Morgantown though to play there. That's the
right,
problem. It's not about the current, culture of college football, which is really money motivated, right? It's all
right,
about cash now. That's
right,
cash is king. Let's just call it what it is. I'm fine with it. It's semi-pro
right,
ball. And they
right,
have the money and they have big boosters and they got big donors. They're the only game in town, but Morgantown has never really attracted top-notch talent. They've always attracted talent, but one piece here, not a team. Football, you can't
right,
just win with two stars, man. You got to have 10 to 15 players, dudes, right, to win.
right, right,
And they've never really had that because they could never attract that kind of talent. So, I mean, I don't think he's out. I think he's doing a fine job, and I think they're going to have an okay season. I just thought Pitt just was the last team with the ball, basically. Um,
right.
I thought it was a good, well played game, though. Well played game. That was a very entertaining football game.
Right. Oh yeah.
All right, you
Uh
called this Notre Dame bouncing back.
yeah.
I said they're not going to bounce back. I thought they were going to be hung over from Northern Illinois, but you called it, man. So They're for real. I mean, they could still run the table, go 11-1. They're in the playoffs if they go 11-1. You know that.
Yeah,
I know that.
right,
That brand carries,
right,
right?
right.
So what do you think? You think they can go 11-1?
They have to play SC out on the West Coast in late November, right?
Yeah.
Thanksgiving weekend. Yeah, they can probably go 11-1.
I think so too, man. I mean, if they got their
Yeah,
shit together now, right? I mean, I don't
you
know.
know,
You losing Northern Illinois was tough because that's not the game that you pencil in as a loss, but here we
right.
are. All right, how about Kurzignetti? We called that one.
Okay, so the next one, that was our joint lock of the week last week, and it was
Yeah.
it was free money. It worked out great.
We gave you
Um,
the pick, people. If you
right,
don't pick it, I don't know what to tell you. I won money on that. I,
right.
I took them and Pitt in a parlay, $205 on a $20 bet. Boom. That's
Yeah,
how you do it. I'm
right,
playing 2 game parlays. I'm not extending past 2 games. Because when you
right,
go to that third game, you get fucked. Okay?
right, right. That's where
Two,
they screw you.
2 game parlays are fine, but they look legit, Nick. I mean, they
I
look
mean,
absolutely legit.
I um I watched the game closely. Kurt Signetti's, his father was a great coach. His brother was a good coach. And he's all substance, no style,
Yeah.
no. He's just like I don't two tight ends, fullback, and they just smash. I don't know if they do that exactly, two tight ends and a fullback, but they smash it right at you.
Yeah, yeah,
Mm.
they're going to be tough. I mean, I thought it'd take him a few years to get dudes. He's got some dudes, and I think once he gets in the meat of the Big Ten, he's going to take some lumps. I'm going to see how that game goes against Maryland, though. That's going to be a that's going to be a good
Next week,
game. That's going to
yeah,
be. I think Maryland will play tough with them, but they're going to have to stop him on offense because Kurt knows how to score the ball, man. I mean, he's
right,
got some players that can score.
right.
But
Now
we,
he's a guy who went into the transfer portal, but he didn't shop at the top of the line store. He went to like Mid American Conference
yeah,
guys,
Yeah, he
the
went to bargain
quarterback,
basement, right? He went to the
you
dollar
know,
store, right?
and there's some good players in there.
And he heisted JMU for a bunch of dudes too that
Right,
were his recruits.
right,
Um, Next topic: Roll Tide Roll
right.
RTR. They're
They
legit. I called that one too. I told you guys lay your money, which I did. I won 2 parlays last week. Lay your money on the Tide.
right.
Cannot go wrong with them. They're going to go in there and roll on them. What do you think, Nick? Did you see any of that? I watched a lot of that game.
I watched a lot of the game. I did not bet that game. I should have, but I just think like I was listening to some Wisconsin podcast earlier this week,
Yeah,
and the Wisconsin fans are a little crazy. I mean, they're like, "Oh, Luke Fickell is, not." I said, "Give me. He's only been there 2 years.
he's a
It's
good coach.
Wisconsin.
It's not him.
Yeah,
He's a good coach. He can coach.
he needs time.
He needs
Yeah,
players. You need
right,
dudes, man. I'm sorry.
right,
Nick Saban had dudes. Everyone's like, Nick
right,
Saban's a great coach. He is a good coach. And when you're a
right,
really good coach and you have dudes, you win championships.
right,
That's when you win championships, especially in football, because in basketball it's different. You have one star in basketball, you can win a championship in college basketball, one star. But
right,
not football, man. It takes dudes. You got to have a lot of them.
right.
Um, I think I'll tell you what, man. Kalen DeBoer, as I have said, has not missed a beat. He's rolling. He's still got dudes, and he can coach too. So back up,
Right.
everybody. I think they're going to give Georgia a good game. I think they're going to beat Georgia at home. I think they beat Georgia at
All
home.
right.
Calling it right
I
now, a
don't
week
I don't know
early.
what the look ahead line is, but
I think it's 3.5. I
okay.
mean, Bama's favored.
All right.
Um, LSU, talk to me.
I watched this game went on forever. It was a great game.
Was a good game.
Um,
Yeah.
it was a lot of penalties. There was a lot of personal fouls. It was a rough game. Um, there was heavy duty hitting going on.
Yeah.
Um,
LSU though, they get a lot of those personal foul calls. I mean, their players headhunt, man. All their
right,
DBs, they go
right,
for the head, man. They're trying to knock you out. I don't know if there's a guy there, an alum saying, "Hey, you knock a guy out, we'll give you $100."
Right.
$100 isn't going to float their boat. Maybe $1,000 will float their boat
Right.
now. But there's somebody paying for spearing hits, right? For targeting shots.
Right.
They
Maybe.
target a lot.
Right. Right. And people were saying, that I thought the referees, everyone was bitching about the referees. I didn't think it was so bad, the refereeing. And I thought Beamer handled it well. He was like, look, everybody threw the flag, three referees all together threw the flag on the personal foul in the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
So that was legit.
Yeah.
And Nussmeier's a player, man. I mean, he they asked him to do everything on that team.
Yeah.
And
Kelly
he
does
was
that with his
getting
quarterbacks, though, right? I mean,
he was
every
getting
place he's
decked.
been,
Yeah.
his quarterbacks take a huge responsibility in the offense and what goes on because he's a throwing coach. He runs the
Right.
ball to keep him off balance, but he likes to throw the ball, man. That guy's a slinger. I mean, that's just his ammo.
Right.
How about Georgia, which that cost me some money, them losing
Yeah,
it.
it
They
cost me
won,
too. I didn't
but ridiculous.
I was sort of watching the game out of the corner of my eye. I was watching more Indiana, UCLA,
Yeah.
and I guess Georgia was never in trouble, but they just barely squeaked it out.
Yeah, 13-12, I guess was the final
Yeah.
score. I'm shocked by that line, man. And I did a live in bet on that, and I parlayed it with I mean, with Indiana.
Yeah.
Of course, Indiana hit, but I thought Georgia for sure, no problem, would kill them, especially
Right.
after them losing to South Carolina last week, 21-0. I was like, they're done. I mean, they're not very good,
Right.
right? Kentucky's not the
Right.
old Kentucky that's been the last few years with Stoops. But they played them tough, but not enough horses to beat a team like Georgia.
Right.
And then A&M goes into Florida. That was one of my parlay bets that I won on, and Gators are in trouble, man. They don't
Yeah.
have anything, and I didn't put this on our notes, but I just heard this today. The latest rumor is Lane Kiffin to Florida for
Yeah. I
15
mean,
million a year.
how much a year?
15. The
Wow.
carpetbagger. They're rallying the troops and collecting some cash in Gainesville.
Wow, man. 15. That's over $1 million a month, man.
I'm not a big fan of his. I don't. What do you think about Lane Kiffin to Florida, Nikki?
I liked his father. I don't like him, but
Yeah, he's a punk.
right.
He's a punk. Even Saban didn't like him.
Right.
Saban fucking saved him and brought him back and gave him a career.
Right.
All right. So last week, another good week for FP.
Right.
You
Good
were
job.
you were 8-6, Nick.
It.
Scotty Nash, great job picking 8-7.
Right.
I double betted a few games that I really liked. 14-5.
Pretty sweet, man.
If you want to make some money on gambling, you need to watch us.
Right.
We know what we're talking
Closely.
about. Okay.
Yeah.
Overall season totals, Nick, you're 28-20. I'm 34-21. You can make a little money with 34-21. So what's that?
Right.
65%. A little bit of money there. All right, let's go through the picks real quick, the games. Coastal Carolina minus 17.5 versus Temple. Temple played them tough. Lost 28-20. You had the under there. You hit that. Me and Scotty both had Coastal. We lost.
Right.
Tulane v. Oklahoma, 13.5 for Oklahoma. I like Tulane to not to cover. They didn't. You like the under, which did not hit, right? No, you liked
Right.
Oklahoma. I'm sorry. Scotty liked the under. That did not hit. So nice pick on Oklahoma to beat up I think a pretty decent Tulane team.
I agree. Summerall is a good coach. John Summerall here from
Appy
Troy State.
State versus ECU. You liked Appy State. Me and Scotty both like ECU, and we just covered by the hook, Nick. It's two
I
and a
tip
half
my hat
points.
to you. That was good work.
Yeah, I thought they'd win actually. I would have gone money line if I was betting that game. Um, Boston College versus Mizzou. You like Mizzou, lost. Sky like the under, hit that. And I like the under and BC double win.
That was a beautiful job. Well
Yeah.
done.
I think BC's pretty good, man. Um,
Yeah, yeah, I agree.
Pitt, West Virginia. You like West Virginia, took the L there. Me and Scott both like Pitt. We won. I thought it was the best game of the week. I watched a lot of that game. Pitt wins late. Maryland, UVA. You like Maryland, hit that. Scotty liked the over. It went under. And I like the under, and I like Maryland. I said it'd be a slog. I don't know if I watched that whole game. I don't know if you watched it. It was just a grind out W by the Terps. That was a good win against not a great Virginia team, but the way they won that game, just beating them up, running the ball, methodically pounding it. Their Maryland's punter, by the way, is the best punter in the country. He's
Really?
punting from his end zone and pinning Virginia not inside their 20, but between their 20 and their 30, punting from his end zone. Unfair catches. I mean, he's kicking the ball
Right,
70 yards. He is
right.
unbelievable. He's a huge weapon. Notre Dame transfer, by the way.
All right.
Um, Arizona v. K State. You like K State? You hit that. Scotty like Zona. They lost. I like the under there. Thought it'd be a defensive struggle. It was 31-7. Bama whiskey. We all like Bama. We all hit. And I also did I hit played the under and lost it by 2, right?
Damn.
It went 52 and it was 50 and a half.
Right,
Washington State, Washington. I warned you guys
right. You
that
said there was
Washington
bad
State would
blood
be
there.
pissed.
Right,
There's bad blood there. They're not happy how that
right.
went down in the Pac-12. And they were unbelievable. They beat Washington straight. And I said straight up money line win. And they did. You like Washington, Sky like Washington. Wazoo in Seattle with the W 24-19. Oregon, Oregon State. We all liked Oregon State. We all lost. Oregon came back. They looked like the old Oregon from before. It's a nice win
All
for them.
right, right.
Purdue, Notre Dame. You and Scotty both like Notre Dame with the big comeback win. They did. They killed them. I did not like the bounce back. I thought Purdue would play tougher. That Purdue's terrible. They got killed. Indiana, UCLA. Me and you both liked Indiana. Scotty liked UCLA in the over. Yeah, and I liked Indiana in the over. And it was 42-13. It went over. So I double won there. That was
All
big.
right, Fernando. Good job.
LSU, South Carolina. You and Sky liked LSU. I liked South Carolina getting 7.5 at home. The home underdog hit that. I also played the under and lost that because it went 36-33.
Right,
In the last game, we all liked A&M, and that I mean, I can win money the rest of the year betting against Florida and Florida State, and I
right,
don't think you're going to lose money. I think they're going
right.
to lose the majority of their games. Their schedule is just so tough, especially Florida's schedule is a meat grinder. All right, lock of the week. You want to talk about it, or you want to get through the games and you'll pick it as we're going through?
I think pick it as we're going through. I have an idea what I want to do, but I just want to get your thoughts.
Okay, so let's start with the games.
Let's load it up.
Illinois plus 8.5. So they're getting 8.5 at Nebraska.
Friday night game.
Yep, Friday night, 8 o'clock on Fox National TV. You want me to go first?
Yeah.
I like the Illini there, not to win, but to cover.
Okay.
What say you?
I like the
The under.
under 43 and a half.
Damn, that's a low number too. Vanilla Nova getting 17.5 at Maryland.
Boy, the Terps are tough. The Terps may get gun shy after losing that Michigan State game.
They're gonna kill. They're gonna kill
Oh,
Villanova, man.
all
Villanova
right.
barely beat Colgate or something last week, and they're not very good. They're gonna
Okay, then
kill them.
I'll take the Terps.
This is a
My,
warm up game for the Big
right.
Ten Conference. Yeah, this that I even like that as the beatdown game.
Okay.
Kansas plus 2.5 at West Virginia. Weird game, Nick, because they're both kind of reeling. Kansas not very good this year. They're not playing very good, at least. And West Virginia, I thought played good, man. So I'm going to go WVU this game. I think they bounce back because I think they found some offense. And Kansas has been letting in a lot of points all year. So I think WVU at home wins here.
I think so too. I agree with that.
Okay. James Madison getting 10.5 at Carolina.
Oh boy.
I know, man. This is a tough one. I'm going to take JMU with the points. I can almost see an upset here, Nick. I think JMU, I mean, they're not. What happens with JMU when they play these big teams, man? People don't, they think, oh, it's JMU, we're going to kill them. And then they show up and they're like, oh, shit, they're as good as we are. Next
Yeah,
you know,
they're
it's the
pretty.
fourth
James
quarter.
Madison is pretty big.
Huh?
James Madison is pretty big.
Yeah, I mean, I
Um,
think Carolina has the backup quarterback in. I I'm gonna double bet that, Nick, and I'm gonna take the under there too. Sorry.
okay.
Go ahead.
I'm going to agree with you on the James Madison plus 10 and a half.
JMU.
Yeah.
All right. Charlotte getting 28.5 against Indiana. Kurt
Um,
just putting a pounding on people. It's a lot of
you know,
points though.
yeah, that's to me, that's too many points. I'm going to take Charlotte.
Okay. And I am going to take the over.
Okay.
NC State getting 20.5 at Clemson. Jesus, no respect.
Yeah, they've had a tough time, the Wolfpack.
Well, they lost their quarterback to Maryland, who's now the
Right.
backup at Maryland. I guess he said
Yeah.
should have stayed. That's another
Yeah.
problem with the portal. Guys think the grass is greener, then they realize, oh shit, I'm not good, better than the guy who's already there. I could have played
Yeah.
at NC State.
Right. Um, NC State at Clemson. Um, it's a lot of points. I'm going to take the under there.
Okay, and I'm going to take NC State. I think they
Okay.
cover the 20.5.
Right.
Um, UVA getting 3.5. Oh no, laying 3.5. I'm sorry, at Coastal Carolina.
I'm going to go UVA here.
And so am I. I think they're
Okay.
pretty good. I think they're pretty physical. I think that they win by a touchdown, maybe 10 points. Um, and oh,
So,
and I'm also taking the under there. There's no way 55.5. There's just no, that's not going to happen. That that
right.
that ain't even close to happening. What are you going to say, Nikki?
Um, the next game, the 3:30 games in the East. Let's talk about this USC giving 5.5 at Michigan.
Yeah,
Michigan changed quarterbacks.
I like Michigan here, Nick, as a home underdog. I don't know if they win the game, but I think there's a pride issue involved now with Michigan. And I think they're going to play tough because everyone's kicking dirt on their grave right now.
Right.
SC's got to go into a 105,000 seat stadium. It's going to be ruckus. They're not Texas SC. They're just not. I don't think they're
Right.
Texas. Um, so I think they go in there and I think SC will win the game, but I think it's going to be a field goal, maybe 4 points. 5.5 is a lot for a home underdog for the defending national champs. So
Right.
I like Michigan. That would be my take on this game. Talk to me.
Okay, I agree with that.
You like Michigan too?
Yeah.
Yeah, I do.
Yes.
This is. I mean, I'm not even sure why we're picking this game because both these teams are dogs. Arkansas getting 3 at Auburn.
I'm going to go with Arkansas just because I like their coach Sam Pittman, and I think the Auburn coach. Um, yeah, I'm forgetting his name now. Son of a gun.
Gus Malzahn.
No, he was the high school coach of Michael Orr in Memphis.
Oh,
He was
right,
the
right,
coach of
right.
Mississippi,
Yeah,
and I'm
I
just
can't.
blanking on his
Yeah, me
name.
too. Me too. So you're gonna go Arkansas.
Yeah.
I'm gonna take the
Yes.
under. I think both those teams aren't very good.
Okay, I can see that.
Okay, road trip game of the week. Um, love this game. I don't know if you have you been to Virginia Tech for a game, Nick?
Never been to Virginia Tech. Never been to Blacksburg.
Yeah, I have. I haven't been to a game. I've been there a bunch twice to show my kids because I think it's a great college campus. Very isolated, very away from everything. It's just a campus, which I think is always the best atmosphere for a student to have that
Right.
college atmosphere, college campus. You have some townies there, some locals, of course, but that's it. That's all there is, and I think it makes for a great college time. Great bars, the college restaurants, nothing fancy there. It's a college town, man. It's not fancy. The campus is beautiful.
Yeah,
It's
it's in the Blue Ridge
Blacksburg.
Mountains. Yeah.
Yeah, Blacksburg is spectacular. Great fan base. They show up. The teams haven't been good lately since Beamer left, but they still show up every week, no matter what. And Rutgers coming in there with Shiano, who has an okay team this year. I like Rutgers. I like them to win it outright on the money line. Three and a
All
half
right.
to nothing. I think they beat them by 10 to 14 points. I think Virginia Tech's not very good.
Okay, I'll go. I'll get a piece of it. I like Coach Shiano too.
Yeah.
I'll take Rutgers plus 3.5
All right. UCLA
in Baton Rouge.
in Baton Rouge, 80,000 drunk Cajuns. Not a night game, though, which surprised me a little bit that they didn't play this one at night. I thought all their games were at night. So interesting that's not a night game. LSU favored by 24. Whew, UCLA has no
Right.
respect. And I'm going to go LSU on a SEC beatdown, 40-point win.
Yeah, I don't think I'm going to take the under there, under 56.
Okay. All right. Utah, this is a really good game too. Utah -2. So they're favored by 2 to a home, once again, home underdog, Oklahoma State. They play tough in Stillwater, Nick. I keep telling you this. They're tough in Stillwater. It's a tough place to go win. Ask Oklahoma. They haven't won there in a while. I like Oklahoma State here as the home underdog.
I like you. I have a lot of respect for Willingham, the coach at Utah, but I agree with you. I'm going to go with Oklahoma State here
At home.
at home.
Yeah. Battle of Dallas, Nick. TCU favored by 2.5 at SMU at the Gerald Ford Stadium on campus. I thought they'd play this game in Jerry World. I'm not sure why they didn't. So, Fort Worth, which is TCU, and SMU Dallas. What do you think?
So this mystified me because I watched TCU lock it up with Central Florida last week
Did they
in a
beat
good
them?
game, and SMU wasn't very good 2 weeks ago against BYU. I'm going to go with TCU here. I'm
Did
not
they beat
overthinking.
did they beat University of Central Florida?
No,
TCU?
Central Florida beat them.
Okay. I'm gonna take TCU also.
Okay,
I think they got a bigger fan base. I think even though
right.
it's at SMU, I think TCU will have more fans there. as a
Right.
road underdog, as a road
Right.
favorite. Um, Cal, it, it gets ridiculous. Cal
Right.
going into FSU. They beat Auburn earlier this year. Going into FSU as a 2.5 point underdog.
Right.
I don't know how FSU's favored in any game because they don't know what they're doing there. They're done.
Right. Right.
It's
I
just,
guess people think that one of these days they're going to wake up and,
yeah.
but you got to go with Cal. I mean, you got to take Cal until proven otherwise.
I'm taking Cal. I am.
Right.
I'm gonna put some money on this game because the
Right.
money line's gonna be pretty stout with Cal. I don't know what it is, but I bet it's gonna be pretty nice.
Right.
All right. Miami, 16.5 point favorite at South Florida in Tampa. Interstate grudge match. I don't know what South Florida has in the tank. I know what Miami has. They're really good this year. What do you think?
65 seems high to me. I'm going to go with the under.
The under. Okay. And man, there's a lot of home underdogs again this week. I'm going to take Miami. I think
Okay.
they beat them by 24, 27. It's not going to be
Okay.
a blowout because I do think that there's a lot of players from both teams that played against each other in high school, so there's always that rivalry there.
Right.
But I think like Miami, the way they did Florida, they're going to do at South Florida the same way. All right, this game's interesting. Iowa, 2.5 point favorite, another home underdog at Minnesota.
Yeah. So Minnesota they lost the first game of the season without their best player to North Carolina. They shouldn't have lost.
Yeah,
They shut out Rhode Island, and then last week they shut out Nebraska. I mean, not Nebraska, Nevada.
right.
Um, 36 and a half is a low over under. I'm going to go with Minnesota here.
At home,
Yeah, at home.
mini at home.
Their
And
defense is Iowa's defense is tough, but so is Minnesota.
that's why I'm going with the under, Nick. Two big
Right,
defenses like that. I think that game is going to come to a fucking halt. 13-10, 16-13. It's going to be a
right.
bloodbath. Defense
That's
struggle.
good thinking.
Yeah. All right. This is the game of the week, obviously. Two top 15 teams playing each other. Tennessee, another home underdog, 7 point favorites at Boomer Sooner in Norman. Wow.
Right,
I'm going to go Oklahoma here at home as a big underdog against a Tennessee team that's been throttling people, but really hasn't been challenged. I think Oklahoma, it's a manhood game, right? They got to show up. They're at
right.
home. The wife and kids are
First
there.
SEC game.
The locals are there. The students are there.
Right.
Tennessee's coming into town thinking they're like the big SEC. I think Oklahoma. I like them in the 7. If not
Okay,
winning,
I agree
I
with
think
you.
it'll be a close game. I think
Right,
I like them that game. All right. You like Oklahoma too, I said, right?
right.
Okay. Baylor getting to at Colorado.
So this is Dave. I don't know how to pronounce his last name. The coach at Baylor. Um, he's taking his team into Colorado. First game in the Big 12 in about 12 or 13 years for Colorado. I think Baylor is going to give him a good game, and I'm going to make that the pick of the week.
That's your
Baylor
lock,
+2. That's the lock.
Baylor.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. And I'm going to take Baylor too then. We
All right.
lock together.
All right.
All right. Lock of the week. Let me lock it up. Hang on. I'm still locking it
All
up.
right. All right.
Got to lock it up. All right. All right, Nikki. I like your reasoning there.
All right.
Michigan State getting 7 at Boston College, 45 and a half.
What do you think here?
I I saw Michigan State play Maryland. They seemed pretty decent, not great. Defensively, they're pretty weak. 7 points is a lot, but I'm gonna take I'm going to take Boston College at home. This is the red
Oh,
bandana game too. Did you hear about that?
no, I know the story of the red bandana with Wells Twombly.
Yeah, with the lacrosse player. So
Right,
that this game is the red bandana game. So I think
right.
they're going to be hyped up for that, and they beat them by 10, maybe 14. I think Boston College wins there.
Okay, I agree. I'll take that one too. I'll take BC.
Okay. All right. So last segment here is the rest in peace segment. This we've been dabbling with this. This is a tough segment that we've added this year. It's been a little complicated. We're trying to get sports guys or sports related guys, but things happen, and you have to make
Right,
moves on the move, right? You have to make
right,
moves. So this week is going to be James Earl Jones.
right,
Um, Talk to me, Nick. What's his? I mean, obviously, Field of Dreams. He was great in that.
right. He was, obviously, we're heavily into sports, but if you're into Shakespeare, he was the man for many decades.
Really, I didn't know that.
Yeah, he was,
Nice.
great and a great actor. I think I found when I was reading up on this, one thing that I found was his father was an actor, but he was I guess I think he was on his own. James Earl Jones. It sounded like his father was not part of his life, which was seemed terribly sad.
Right.
But you have to give him tremendous credit. He and I guess he's not here to tell the story, but it would be very interesting to think to find out exactly how he sat for the Star Wars role. I guess when it was filmed back in 1976,
Right.
because he said something. I read something like, "I did 2.5 hours worth of work, and I got paid $7,000, and I was happy as hell."
For Darth Vader,
Yeah, he's not the actor. He's he's
the
the
voice.
voice.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Right.
he
Right.
just sits there and reads.
$7,000. But
Right, for
back in
two and a half.
1976, that was a lot of work. That was a lot of money.
Right, right. It's a good amount of money,
Yeah.
and he just said, it was like half a day's work, and away
Yeah.
we went. And another thing I liked about him was the fellow who played Darth Vader, who was actually inside the uniform, the suit. His name was David Prowse, and James Earl Jones gave him full credit. He does not appear in the credits of the first Star Wars and the second one, I
Okay.
guess to help the guy out.
Nice. Nice.
Yeah,
A humble man.
right.
That Field of Dreams though, when that show made me cry. That movie made me. I had butter coming down my face on that one.
Yeah,
He was great,
yeah,
great in that.
yeah,
So that's what I remember him as.
yeah.
Obviously,
Yeah, he was
that's
terrific actor.
that's his sports, I guess, attachment, right? That's where he hits the
Right,
sports. All right, man. Great show. We got this week's going to be exciting. I think next
right,
week. Now we're really getting into conference play. Right, next week is going to be all conference play. I think it
right,
starts right.
right.
The
So we're
games are
into
over.
Georgia and Alabama, which is, it doesn't get any better than that.
No, Georgia, Alabama. Could be one in versus two. I think that Georgia. Well, they're both off this week. So Bama, were they ranked like two this week, right? Were they ranked like two
I
or
don't know the
three?
rankings.
I think
Yeah,
they were ranked like two or three. So I don't know, man. If Utah loses, obviously at Okie State, that'll move them up, but it'll be a top five clash, and the two best teams in the country, no matter what the rankings say. We know enough to know that they got the most talent of any other teams.
right.
All right, man.
All
Thank you,
right.
Nick. Great show.
Oh, sure. Hey, no problem. No, I always look forward to this. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah,
Great time. Great to do this with you again. And we'll sit back, watch the games on Saturday, see how things shake out, and I look forward to talking with you again next week.
yeah, man. I appreciate you accommodating my time too. Thank you.
Anytime, brother. My pleasure.
And by the way, thanks. You're confirming for homecoming. I know Jan confirmed today too. So looking to have
Yeah.
him. He's going to come in a day early. We're going to play a little golf on Friday. Should be nice.
Right. So it's a brave new world. We're just telling the listening audience, Maryland, after, when we went to school there and they played Wake Forest on homecoming,
Yeah,
now, in this new world of the Big Ten from coast to coast, we're hosting the University of Southern California Trojans
that's
for the first
disrespect.
time
That's
on homecoming.
disrespect. That is such disrespect. Let's bring
So
in
it's like,
USC for
whoa,
homecoming.
you
Let's play
know,
USC for homecoming.
you
What were
know,
they thinking? Jesus.
it's like, you
Oh
know,
Lord. Oh, they're gonna be mad about that. Oh, so
right,
now we're Maryland's homecoming team.
right,
They could hang half 100 on us. Just saying.
right.
All right. See you, man.
All right, take care, brother.
Bye
Safe
bye.
trip home.